Today I'll be talking about how I organize myself. This is a picture of a very messy room. It happens when you're not organized. When you're not organized, you lose stuff, you waste time looking for stuff, and you have overdue homework because you can't find it, and you forget important things. The outline for today is how I organize at school, how I organize my thoughts, and how I organize my time. How I organize at school. I organize my things by size. The ones that are smaller goes on the top, and the ones that are larger go on the bottom so they won't tip over. I keep stuff that I use more often on the outside so I can reach it, and the ones that I don't use very often in the inside. I use my locker for bigger things and the stuff I don't use every day. For example, my jacket, my lunchbox, and my backpack. I always have a routine on Fridays, I always have to make sure I turn in my homework and finish everything on time. How I organize my thoughts. When I write, I organize my thoughts. I think, what's the purpose, like why I'm going to write it, and who's the audience. I also think what I am going to write. I can't just write down what I always like. I can't just write down random stuff or else people won't get what I'm trying to mean. And I also do what is the outline of my writing. That's what I have to do before I write. I also do it when I solve problems. What is the problem? That's what I do first. And then I do what is the information I need. So I take the information from the question. Then I use the method I know and then think about what strategies I need to solve the problem. And then I check my work. How I organize my time. I always think what I do first. I always do homework that is due first to make sure I don't have anything overdue. I also do the task that takes longer, so that way I could sort of relax when I'm doing the easier ones. I also think, is it the right time to do it? And if it's something that I don't have to do, then I can leave that for the last. But if it's something I have to do, I do it first, so I can make sure I can get it over. And I also have to make sure I know about how much time I take to do it, so I can space out when to do what. And I also save my time so I can play.
Thank you very much. Good job. Good job. So next person goes. Yeah. Can you help me?
Hello, my name is Young, and today I'm going to tell you how I organize myself. These are ways to organize my weekly activities. On Sunday, I have a piano lesson at 10:15 in the morning and swimming at 6 in the afternoon. On Thursday, I have chess club right before school at 8 o'clock. On Saturday, I have tennis at 10 and Chinese school at 1. Ways to organize my weekly activities. My daily routine is wake up at 8:10, eat breakfast at 8:40, go to school at 9 o'clock, eat lunch at 12:30, go to after school care at 3:30, and then after 3 hours I go home at 6, play piano at 6:30, go to eat dinner at 7:30, and then go to bed at 9:30. I am a robot. If I follow my schedule and exercise my daily routine, I will be more structured, have more leisure time, be more accomplished, be happier, be less worried, and have self-discipline such as time management. If I fail to follow my schedule and routine, I will miss school, miss activities, be less accomplished, have less sleeping, and be disoriented. Rights versus responsibilities. Use the facilities, play the game, practice with the team, participate in league functions, and receive the uniform. Responsibilities. Pay fees, follow the rules, play hard, practice, be respectful, and help teammates. I love to play ball, and I do not want to be like a couch potato.
Thank you, Eric. Sorry for making you more time because you didn't have that very last time. Next presenter will be Patrick. Just say okay.
Hi, my name is Patrick Stang, and I am in second grade Beverly Farms Elementary School. Today I'll be talking about how we organize ourselves and how I organize myself. First, I'll begin with a story. A teacher places a jar on the desk in front of her students, and while telling her students that this is your life, you may fill it with anything you wish. She took out a bag of big rocks and carefully placed them in the jar one by one, while telling her students, these are the big and important things in your life. You will be the most proud of them at the end of your life. Then she took out a bag of small pebbles and put it in the jar, shaking it slightly so it would fill the space between the big rocks. And told her students that those are important things in your life, but not as important as the bigger rocks. Finally, she took out a bag of sand and poured it in the jar so it will fill the space between the pebbles and the big rocks. And told her students that these are the everyday things that you do in your life, like watching TV or playing video games. Then she looks over her shoulder and asks, what do you think would happen if she put the sand in first? What do you think would happen if she put the sand and pebbles in first? Erin.
Well, if you put the sand in first, you wouldn't really have any. You wouldn't be organized and have any things. You'd be like messy because all you do is just the everyday things without any order, and you don't have any discipline and you don't have any order to anything. So you should put the most important things in first. Then you should do you should put the less important things in. Then do the things you don't have to do at the end. Let's say you don't have to watch TV and play video games.
This would happen if the teacher put the sand and pebbles in first. There wouldn't be enough space for the more important things.
So there wouldn't be as much important things as the one with the important things put in first. After the story, here is the first definition of organization. A, the act or process of organizing or of being organized. B, the condition or manner of being organized. How I keep my objects organized. I organize my bookshelf by types of books, like if they are Chinese books or English books. Source, like if they are from the library or if they're mine. Book height, like for example, a book that's taller than the average book height would go on one shelf. I have organized my toys by how often I play with it and other factors such as size and color. I organize my clothes by type and shirt, for example, shirt, pants, socks, and a lot more. I also organize my clothes by season, like if they are summer clothes or winter clothes. How to keep myself organized in terms of time. I have lots of things to do, like homework, Chinese study, piano, reading, writing, and a lot more. I prioritize my tasks by how important they are, the day they are due, and other factors. One way I keep an example of how I keep my time organized is last Friday's decision. Preparing for this presentation, or if I should prepare for this Chinese exam. If I chose to prepare for the presentation, I would fail the Chinese exam. But if I chose to spend all my time on Chinese exam, I'd fail the presentation. I chose to use half of my time on the presentation and half of my time on Chinese exam. So I'd not fail any of them, but neither of them would be perfect. If I had known that there wouldn't be enough time for my presentation, I would have spent all my time on the Chinese exam and then after the next week use all my time on presentation. Consequences of choice. There are lots of personal choices, like spending time on playing or studying, and which subject to focus on. The consequences of these questions are what I will be like when I grow up. There are also a lot of choices, like if we should preserve the environment or sacrifice the environment and keep growing the economics. The consequence for this is what the world will be like for the next generations. The second definition of organization. A, association and society. B, an administrative and functional structure, also the personnel of such a structure. What's implied in this definition is group, connectivity, interactivity. Organizations I belong to, referring to second definition. Beverly Farms Elementary School, Hope Chinese School, and the swim team. Questions? Thank you.
Good job, Tasha. Thank you for sharing the story with us. That was very interesting. So next person, Arvin, are you ready? Okay.
try to organize my room, then organize my schoolwork, next organize my time. Why should I organize my bedroom? If I organize my bedroom, I will not have to do it when it's bedtime when I am very tired. If I do it in the morning, I will not have to worry about it in the evening when I do not have time. How do I do it? After I wake up, I'll do the following in this order. Put the bedspread, then put the pillow on top, put on the comfy blanket, and on the pretty blanket. When do I organize it? I prefer to organize my room in the morning and sometimes in the evening if I get up late in the morning. Who is helping me? My parents help me because my thick blanket is too heavy for me. My little brothers are not making me my bed mess. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you. So last presenter will be Richard. It's the first time Richard did a presentation in my class.
Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Han, and today I'll talk about how I organize my day. How I organize my days. I organize my days by remembering what special I have and what class I have. Like on Tuesdays I have music and I have drawing class. And I keep track of time by asking like what time will be in like 30 minutes. I get ready for class by getting ready for the subjects that the teacher will teach about. How I organize my room. I organize my room by putting the clothing I put on the chair beside my bed, and those are for the next day. And the drawers have different types of clothing on each level. So like on the bottom level might be like socks and pants. And then the bookshelves have different types of books on different levels. Like if the books are like important, like I have like a school book or a library book, I will put it on the top. My desk. The slots are clean because each have a different thing to hold, and they are in piles and piles. Thank you all for your time.